want to hear what your plan has been for yesterday and today, meaning how are you finishing February strong? Team Cup, Success Club, all of these things. What are you doing to create an amazing amount of emphasis, excitement for the end of the month? Talk to me. Go.
I'll go first.
Yeah, please.
So I'm kind of utilizing, first of all, I feel like all of my efforts since November, because I've been kind of struggling, and I've been consistently following up with everyone. I feel like everyone's kind of all answered this month, which has been amazing, because I'm almost at SE 30.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I know, crazy. And I've been changing up strategy. This mastermind has been really helping. But in order to kind of get ready for next month is my 2-year anniversary with Beachbody. And so I'm thinking of using that theme of how I can give back and how to create more, I guess, attention and continue this momentum. So I love the opportunity that we have to be creative. We can really do whatever we want. I mean, as long as it, is legal. So I decided that to kind of build up momentum and get some of my inactive coaches active again and really build that volume, I'm doing a contest where if I'm going to be giving away an Apple TV within my team. And the requirements are they have to be a part of a challenge. So I'm running 2 different ones. One is 80-day obsession, and one is just like an online boot camp that they can be a part of more for beginner levels. And they have to log the Shakeology with a picture and some sort of workout picture. And basically the winner will be whoever does the most within 30 days. And so I know, and I told them, I know there's going to be a tie at the end between a few people who logged in and showed up every single day. And so between those people, if there's a tie, I'm going to do a drawing between them. But it was kind of like to me, an Apple TV is $150, and that's really nothing for us to kind of get our teams excited and engaged and engage that competitive spirit. So that's something that I'm planning on doing for next month to kind of keep up momentum.
So for coaches and challengers, or just challengers?
Yes.
Coaches and challengers.
Yes.
Cool.
And then I'm still brainstorming on for new people, little I might do a free PD book with a challenge pack order or something like that.
For sure. So my only suggestion is still work like today's the last day of the month, because it's only going to set you up for March. Even though you've hit your goal, I love that. Just don't lay up yet.
Okay.
Gotcha. Cool. Love that. Thank you so much. Okay, who wants to go next? What are you doing?
So cool that.
Nothing? Sitting around eating bonbons?
I'll go.
Yes, thank you.
So today I'm actually doing a webinar. So I usually do a webinar every month, and that's kind of how I get my challengers. So it's kind of like what you saw Brittany with Mark on the Champions page, where he does his, introducing basically the challenge groups to the masses, and going through first training them, and then if they decide they want to join, they do it that way. So I'm doing it today, and I'm giving an incentive for anyone who decides that they're going to join today. And of course, there's people that lag or they're not on live, so they'll watch it later, but that'll set me up for next month. But today I'm going to have an incentive so that I can, finish off strong and everything. But that's kind of the plan moving forward.
I love it. Strategically placed at the end of the month to obviously build the emphasis, but then also creating that drive for the first of the month. I love that. Thank you. Justin, I'm throwing it up over to you. What about you? What are you and Deanna doing?
We are, so we run free groups, and it's pretty basic, pretty normal, right? So we're running a free group. We've got one starting on Monday or whatever. To be completely honest, that's where we get a vast majority of the numbers for the first of the month. So we run it at towards the very, very, very end of the month, and then we feed them in through the first of the month. But it doesn't necessarily always boost our end of the month goals, right? So if I'm completely honest, I feel like we tend to push so much for hitting our goals by the 10th that we fail many times in pushing at the end, right? Like really pushing to add more to it. So I think that's something that I'm actually, when you said that, I was like, okay, I need to hear these. Like I need to hear, I need this push, because it's kind of something that, if anything, we struggle with more than anything. So
for sure. It's incredible. I mean, I know you pushed, like you said, so hard those first 10 days, but if you created that momentum, or even did like 2/3 of that momentum that you did on, the first 10 days, it'd be insane to see where your business goes, just because the momentum, the constant start and stop, that's typically where the momentum drags. And then it's just like, oh, what are we going to do now? How are we going to create that engagement again? So I'd say try it out, and see what works, what doesn't work. Deanna must have heard us talking about her, because she all of a sudden just showed up right when I said her name. So did that kind of spark some interest onto, and then she's like, okay, I'm back. Did that spark any interest on what you're going to do kind of maybe the last day of this month?
Oh, what I just, from the last 2 responses?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, we just need to get out and flat out send out more invites, right? Like just push. But I do love we always love incentives. I will say that, Deanna, I can tell you right now that when you think about an Apple TV, I know Deanna, look at her face, right? It's like, whoa, wait a minute, an Apple TV? What? Right? It sounds like it's a ridiculous, but when I hear that resonates really well with me, because I'm not personally driven by a pen. However, I am driven by an Apple TV, right? Like that is okay, right? So I love that idea. I'm doing a lot of coaching calls over the next few days that I've just had scheduled. So we're really trying to do a lot of one-on-ones with people to kind of amp them up and excite them and do that. But I think adding in an incentive for challengers as well as coaches is brilliant, especially when it's actionable items that they can do each day and not feel defeated because they didn't do it, right? And instead of hitting a mark where it's like, I wasn't able to hit that for some reason, I feel defeated. It's like, you can do your workout. You can read a personal development book and take a photo of it. You can, or whatever, and share something. Those things. I am all over that. It's going to be the prize that I'm going to have to work at.
For sure. So I would just say this, it will be amazing for you to even see who you can rally with your team the last day. And I think it's also, obviously Team Cup, just kind of build off of that momentum, but just remind them like what we do right now, even though the first is tomorrow and we can start this tomorrow, let's start today. And I love this. I have a coach that literally works every day as if it's the first or the last day of the month. And so that means that she doesn't, she's always eating her frog first. She's always doing those things. And then of course, just setting herself up for the following month. So I love that you heard that. If you need more convincing with Deanna, let us know. I'm sure we can tackle that one.
Yeah, we're going to need more.
Okay. Who wants to go next? We have time for one more. Candace, what are you doing? Oh, who said that? Oh, Daphne. Yeah, Daphne, go.
So I do an okay job at sending out like customer newsletters in masses, but I have not gone and like individually messaged customers unless it's like, thank you for your order or whatever. And I realized that I have over 3,000 customers in my database that are, either on bot or drinking Shakeology that I haven't personally messaged in probably a couple of years. And so now that I kind of hit my goal for this month, I'm sitting down today and my success partner and I have been doing the rejection blocks from Mel Robbins' webinar, where instead of the power hour, we do 1 day a week, we get on a Zoom, her and I together, and we have a list of at least 10 names that we have just been messaging. So my list going forward is going to be all of my customers that I currently already have. So whether it's inviting them to my next challenge group, if they've been on Shakeology consistently for a few months, inviting them to the opportunity, just kind of dissecting, the people that are already doing the programs and using the products that we have versus constantly going out there like trying to find new blood when I haven't really been giving a lot of love to the people that are already, doing it. So that's kind of my big initiative right now.
Well, that's legit. And especially now with the new rule of, if it's been 6 months since they purchased a challenge pack, they can purchase a new challenge, like with that too, it's a big deal. So I love that. But also, just putting it out there, maybe it's their opportunity. Maybe it's their time now to even join the business. So I would say talking about the business, they see your Life by Design, but I would say asking for it would be a beautiful thing. And maybe if it's somebody that, you is on your dream team and just saying it, but I love that. So very cool. Good for you. Okay. One last one. I called your name, Candace, but if you don't want to go, somebody else can go. But Candace doesn't want to go. Stacy, what about you, girl?
Okay, guys, so I am doing for my team these really cute, I can send you the Instagram. She's super fast and got me out these little Shakeology. I bought these on Amazon, these Wonder bottles. So I'm giving this to my one coach that has SC10, I think, this month. I'm dropping it by her house today. So this would be a fun way to either get your team name on it. The girl's really cool on Instagram. She's they're like $1 each. So that would be a fun recognition thing for you. I'm making like a big billboard of all of the girls that are going to Summit that have committed. And then I'm going to add some blank squares with little question marks to kind of talk about how your ROI on investment when you get to any personal development event is like, I don't know, Shillian Johnson says this, it's like $7 to every dollar that you spend. So I'm going to really start talking about that because we're all booking flights and I really want to recognize the girls that have committed. Daphne, what you talked about last week with how sometimes you feel alone and like you create this great content and then you feel like no one's backing you. I have been trying like this mental game with myself to pretend that I have all these coaches who are hitting Success Club and on the team calls weekly and doing all this stuff. Like I'm getting delusional because I have to be, because I feel like I have to create, as coaches, we have to create so much momentum for ourselves. Otherwise we're just going to like, you know, in personal development, obviously, but it can feel really lonely. So if that helps at all, I was thinking about that after our last call, that I'm like, I'm just going to pretend because it will happen. Like if I visualize it, it's going to happen. I've been working obviously closely with the coaches that are working and just focusing more on Emerald instead of Diamond because I feel like Diamond is so overwhelming for some people. I'm like, just Emerald over and over and over again. Let's just talk about Emerald. And then I did do, and I can send you the doc on this too, Jatana Jackson talked about it in the I'm Here to Help group last summer before Summit. And it was the 3-day challenge group sneak peeks to like get people in. So if you guys need, I have it all written out. I have Jatana's video. So I was like, shoot, I'm just going to do it. I haven't done it in like 6 months. What am I doing? I did it. I had like 100 comments, obviously with my replies on there, on like how many pounds do you want to lose this year if you couldn't fail. And so I've got a big group of girls that I'm chatting with in the sneak peek that I did. I already mailed a gift to the gal that signed up last week. And then I wanted to redo it this week because we go on vacation Friday. So it ends Thursday night. If they purchase a challenge pack by then they get another gift. So I make a big deal of it. And it's just great because then they're in this little, you know, group and you can chat with them one-on-one, and it added a lot of momentum for the end of my month and going into March. So if anyone, I can just post that in our little chat thread, that, you know, the Instagram girl who did the stickers and then Jatana's doc, if you guys need that.
That's awesome. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you for also figuring out what hasn't been working, but then putting into place like what did work in the past. Deanna even said, you know, when she did it, it rocked. So I love that, going back to it. But thank you for that great idea too. Those are really cute. If you gave me that blender bottle, I'd be very happy to say that's very cute.
Very cute. Might have one then when I see
Oh, stop it. That's not what I'm saying. To say that's good prize. It's a good prize. It's better than that pen that Justin was talking about. So okay, perfect. But I feel like this call then, Stacy, is going to be perfect because we're going to obviously be talking about getting to Diamond faster. And obviously it is that not overthinking it thing, but this is an opportunity for all of you to participate. So please do. Also, I want to say, Candace, I'm so sorry. I hope he is okay. Totally get the hustle mode. And of course, let us know if you need anything at all. So let's kind of just jump into this topic. So obviously it's getting to Diamond faster. And I kind of want to just open this up because first of all, this is a topic that all of us are always like, oh, you know, it's like if coaches say, I want to be a Diamond in a year, and you're like, okay, sounds good. And you're like, oh, hell, like if I literally would have told them like 90 days or 60 days, they would have got to work, right? So let me ask you this. What do you do? Best practices here. What have you done that has worked to get diamonds like that clear vision, to get them working their business, to get them to diamond? What has worked so far for you? And you all have been successful. You all are 3 and 4 star diamonds. So don't tell me you haven't been. I don't care if it's been a little bit. Talk to me. Ooh, do you like my sass?
All right, I will go. Even though it was like 2 years ago that this worked. So you said we don't have a time frame, right? So about 2 years ago, our team hustled really hard and we got to 5-star and pretty quickly. And I think what worked really well is I had a message thread, just like a group message thread with all the ladies who are going for Diamond. And we had such a clear goal because it was the end of the year. So we had that hard deadline, right? Like we have to make it this goal. It was like Thanksgiving Day or something, I think, that we had to make it. And every day we were talking and cheering each other on, and people were, giving feedback. And there was really that feeling of a team, and that this is something we were all doing together, and everybody was cheering each other on and rooting for each other. And even as we got to like that very last week and we still needed coaches to sign up, because of like that, like the momentum, but also the accountability of the group, they were going so far above and beyond what they would normally do, that we were able to do that and to hit 5-star. And that worked really well. But honestly, I just been sucking the last year or two. So that worked great then, and I don't really know why I'm not doing that now.
That's why I want you to say that, because every time, why the hell haven't I been doing that? Okay, so note to self, clear vision, clear goal, why you're working towards it, rallying the team, okay? So put that on your to-do list no matter what. Deal?
Deal.
Okay. Justin, what about you? Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, it's funny because I was literally talking to Dion about this morning. I'm like, I feel like this is something that we need. Like, I don't know what we were doing, right? But we do, as I started thinking about it. The thing that has always worked for us when it did work, it was just keeping it like as simple as we possibly could. So I remember Doug Moss actually talking at one of the events that we had about about becoming elite, and just saying, hey, look, just actually kind of like what Stacey was talking about, reproducing emerald over and over, creating emerald factories, just dumb it down and don't talk about like diamond and all that stuff. I think where we, I don't want to say went wrong, but I think where we misstepped a little bit over the last year when we struggled with it more was focusing more on, let's get you to diamond. Let's set these goals. Let's create an elite team. Here's what we're going to have to do. Here's your goal. And we really spent more time trying to push people into diamond than just helping people. Hey, let's keep it simple. You're just going to become, you became emerald like that, right? Okay, well, let's just do it again. And we're just going to do it again, and we're going to do it again. We did that in the very beginning, and we didn't do it on a super hard level, if that makes sense. Like we didn't go like all in. It was just kind of like what we did, I think, naturally, because we didn't know different. I don't know. But that's when we were successful. So I looked back at it for a while and thought, well, we just had the right people. They just wanted, and now I look back and I go, it's probably very system. It was just like, this is simple. You're going to invite, you're going to do this, and you're going to hit emerald, and you're just going to make it like really basic. And I think once we shifted over to that push for, you want to hit diamond, it seemed daunting in some ways. And I think that fear debilitated people more than it encouraged people. And nothing really seemed to connect from that. We just pushed people to it. But keeping it simple, like, you're just going to do this again, I think is where we found the most success that we found. So I want to start implementing that idea.
For sure.
More importantly.
No, I like that, but it's so true. This is the thing, is you have to become with that conviction, that like very clear, like, no, I know this is how you're going to do it. Don't overthink it. Like, just like what Doug says about elite, it is actually very, very simple if you just dumb it down. What do you need to do every single month? How are you going to get there? So I love that you brought that up. Who wants to go next? Thank you, Justin.
I'll share a couple things.
Yes.
That I feel like have been helping me more recently. So I feel like it sounds so simple, but again, it's one of those things that I haven't been super awesome at. I feel like we all need to create that clarity, like on paper, what is a diamond? And sometimes it helps, like the diamond trackers really help, but even finding what fits your coach that you're working with. So like for me, whiteboard, or even like I have this huge full length body, like mirror, the closet doors that is just mirrors, getting a, dry erase marker and like mapping out what I like to call it a family tree looks like, and filling in those, like having the blank spot of, okay, these are all my blank spots to get to diamond, and literally writing people in as you get them. And if you can help your coach that you're working with, or your coaches that you're working with, to do that, I feel like it really increases that belief and creates clarity that literally this is all that I need. And it's not that big of a deal. It's super exciting accomplishment, but it kind of like puts that the vision of that family tree to get to diamond, I think really helps. And then staying consistent. I have one coach that specifically right now is pushing really hard to get to diamond, and doing a Zoom call and just something as simple as sharing my screen and showing her like Coach Online Office. And this is what your team looks like right now. You're so close. Because I know at the end of the month, or when they have a goal and they're getting really close to it, you know, sometimes the belief wavers that, can I really do this? And so showing them like, look how close you are. You only need like literally 2 more people. These people are inactive. Let's reach out to them. And this is how we can do it together, and really kind of partnering with them in that, I think has seemed to really help for me.
For sure. I love that. And I love what Deanna said, love the family tree. Like that is a big deal. Like to map it out and just kind of see the clarity of it. There's a couple things that, and please, you know, chime in when you're ready to chime in, but I just want to kind of go over, because this is the conversation that we've been having all week long with my masterminds. And so it's fun because by the time I have this conversation with you ladies, like I'm hearing all these leaders, what they're doing. So I'd love to bring some of their best practices, if that's okay. So I think they'll be very Serena, who is a 4-star diamond, just like a lot of you, she has implemented this system since January. And it's obviously a new system, but she's learned that coaches who earn $500 consistently do not quit. And so with that, you know, she's teaching them obviously SC, Emerald, vital behaviors, and then obviously Diamond is going along with that. But what she's realized is when she reverse engineers Diamond to that $500 rule, that is when they are consistently showing up. That's when they're consistently not quitting, but they're also moving towards their goals. So kind of tie that Diamond to $500. Sorry, I don't know why I keep coughing. But tie it to that and really see like, okay, if I'm getting them the wins of making money, that is when they're going to stick around, right? That's when they're not going to give up. Okay. So I love that one. I did have the opportunity to go live in a diamond group, and I loved this one. And this one's really cool because it's based of 5 leaders who don't work together. So they're all kind of success partners in themselves, but you have 2 15-star diamonds. So that's the big win on that one. But you have an 8-star and you have a 2-star and a 1-star. So it's very like diverse, right? But what I loved about this, they called it the Diamond Code. It's a 5-week hustle. So they literally have, 5 weeks you're going to be diamond. But I love that obviously in it, they kept on talking about it's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of commitment. It's going to take a lot of hustle. And they're very clear with it. But they literally, between the 5 leaders, they separated like, okay, there's 25 lessons. These are your 5 lessons. These are your 5 lessons, so on and so forth. But most importantly, they make their people sign a contract for themselves to devote to their business. Okay. It's the same thing that we have found when you bring people into a challenge group and you make them sign a contract, you make them be part of a test group, whatever it may be, they are now committed, right? And so when I was scrolling through this, because obviously, like I said, I had to go live in it, I just realized, like, first of all, what I realized I needed to talk about. Mindset was everything. But then I also realized that we get so stuck on diamond. And even though we're talking about how to get to diamond faster, it's like, okay, well, and it's the whole Melanie Metro thing. What are you going to do with them once they hit diamond? What are you going to do when they consistently show up every single day? They're so close to that goal. They're going to make it happen. Like, what do you do besides sit down, have a margarita, get a pedicure, whatever it may be, with them? Like, what are you going to do? How are you going to pave the way to show what's next? And so then, my approach. I've told you all this 8 billion times probably, but the 2-star diamond approach, like, yes, diamond stepping stone within their business. Yes, it's, but this is the thing is coaches truly feel like that's when all the accolades, that's when like, they can literally quit their job and they, can bring their husband home. And I'm like, whoa, you are so wrong. And that's why we have so many coaches that get there, stay there, and never progress forward, right? So I would just remember in the back of your head, like, yes, we're working towards this, but the most important thing is I want you to taste some success because I want you to see what is possible. As you all know, what I realized when I was working with my 2-stars is that's where the majority of them went part-time, quit their job. Obviously, they are able to open up that second CBC, so their income increases. They get quarterly bonuses if they stay 2-star diamond and above. But the most important thing that I realized, that is where coaches have a team. That's where most importantly, like every single one of you have a team. And that's the most rewarding thing within this business, right? So I would just say this, you need to have some type of system to create diamonds, if it's that emerald over and over again or whatever it may be. But you have to get back to literally where you're showing this showcase of this business of, hey, this is possible. And every single one of you have advanced way past that. And so it's your opportunity to say, you know what, let me show you how. Okay. Do you like Keyshawn's clap? That was for you. And so was that. It's so loud around here. Sorry. I know. Yeah, that hasn't happened yet, but I'm sure it will. But literally what I realized, and this is the biggest emphasis also that I put on it, is I said, yes, you are dashing to diamond in 5 weeks. But the most important thing after this is the next 5 weeks. And once you do those 10 weeks together, guess what? That's when it is a habit, and that's when it becomes easy. Okay? Because you no longer have to think about it. It's like the one thing rule. That book, still my absolute favorite. You realize it takes 66 days to create that habit. And the reason why he says 66 is because that's when it's easy and you don't have to think about it. Okay. So it's that constantly showing up every single day. So that was a couple that I loved. I loved the same thing that you do with, your challenge groups is like only 5 spots. I'm only working with 5 of you this time to work towards it. Who are my 5? And if you have 7 apply, then you realize, who really deserves it type of thing. Like make it special, make it unique, make it not for everybody. Does that make sense? Which book is that? The One Thing by Gary Keller. Yeah, that is by far one of my absolute favorites. So I would absolutely say those things. I would also say power hours. I know that word's branded, so we're not really supposed to say it, but whatever, your hour of power or your hour of work, I don't care what you say it. And we always get told, don't say that word. It's like, that's all what you guys refer to it though. But it's like, getting live with your people, getting them to do the basics with you. I had one coach that said, you know what, I realized on my team calls, it was not working. It was another training, and all my team does is train. And then they try to implement, and then they don't implement because it's so much training, right? And then they listen to the National Makeup Call. Do you get my gist? It's a lot of training. And so what she realized is she started to make an event within her team page. And instead of a team call, she did a team power hour. And she's like, I've had more engagement. I have more people showing up because they're actually working their business. Because if people show up to your team call, but yet they're not working the business, I would literally say to them, get off of this call, do your freaking power hour. Deanna completely agrees, right? Okay. And it's that same thing. Like if you haven't hit your goals, get off this call, like go make it happen. Okay. Not really. We'll be done in just a minute. I promise. But, that's all said out of love. Don't leave me yet. But I loved that. Let me just see if there's anything else. And I'm like, oh man, you need to remember this 500 rule. Okay. Let's open this up real quick. What questions? I mean, I just laid a lot on you. What questions do you have with all that? Talk to me.
Can you hear me? I'm driving.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if it's in the video that you did, but is there a way that we can get access to that 5-week diamond training, like so we can implement? Or were they just talking about it?
Was I just talking about it, or were they? Sorry.
Like, were they just explaining what they were doing, or did they actually share their training?
So one of my gals did in our other group, and let me see if she did. And if she does, I'll put it in there. I'll ask permission first, but yes, for sure. And I know
awesome.
all your coaches are amazing and don't ever say like, no, I don't want that shared. I'm still waiting though for Daphne's vision board training. And I'm not doing my vision board until you give me your training. No pressure. But yeah, let me see what I can get for you.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. Okay, what else? Oh, let me ask this. Because our last call with Z, right? Holy crap, did you take that back to your teams? Yeah? How did it go?
I recreated that document for our team, and like it is spreading like wildfire, upline, downline. It plugged right into my getting started process. All I had to do was like change around a couple of like key terms and stuff. And it's like, I signed a coach yesterday and I'm all, I can't wait to use this.
Awesome. Okay. I love that. Are you starting to recognize what phases your coaches are in? And you're like, oh, you're in that phase. Get out of that phase. Like you're starting to recognize that, or what phase you're in, right? Okay, big aha moment. That was such a, like, I literally shared that with uplines. Like I did the same thing. I'm like, sorry Z, I'm shredding this, I'm sharing this thing like freaking wildfire. It's so cool. Okay, cool. Was it helpful? We need more speakers. Okay, cool. Yes. Okay, what else? When it comes to diamonds, what else are you doing? Teresa, let me ask you that. What are you and Mark doing?
Well, with the mastermind that we have within our group, that's going really well because, you know, we have all the people who are really excited and really actually working the business. I know there's the little thread talking about the groupies. We have tons of those. I mean, the majority of our group, our team, are those people who have been around for a long time. They show up to every training. They say they want it and they drop off. They say they want it again, they drop off. So it's really frustrating. So being in that environment where we just have the small group of, I think it's 6 now, that are the runners, that are those people who are just ready to do this. You know, it's helping a lot that way. And I think I mentioned this in another call. There's one particular girl, she is on fire. She is like, she hit SE22 this month and she hit Emerald in like a week, and she's adding all these people, and she's just, because she doesn't care. Like, she's just like, I know what my goal is and I'm going for it. And she's showing everybody up and everybody's like, whoa, but it's, you know, it's sparking the fire in us too. So it's just, I mean, that's what we need. We need more energy. And sometimes as leaders, you know, we've been doing this for a while and we just kind of like get tired. So just kind of takes that person. So we're actually having her do trainings because she's killing it on Instagram. So she's doing a training on that. And, you know, that's helping our other coaches, you know, get on board again and just work.
For sure. I love that. I love the fact that you're also making her a leader, and she's not scared because she doesn't know what she's doing, but she's having fun doing it. So I love that. Cool. Keep us updated on that for sure. Mm-hmm. So my question for you now is, how are you all going to implement basically the expectation that they need to work in this business, right? The expectation of either getting them to $500. Like if you literally put in your team page, who wants to earn $500 this month? How many people are going to be like, I do? You're like, okay, let me show you how. Like literally that would be one way to open it up. But I also, and this actually makes me think of it, since today is, sorry, that sun is like glaring and I'm accepting it because it's a snowy day here. So if you can barely see me, I apologize, but I'm getting my vitamin D. But with that, this is your time right now, because tomorrow is a brand new month, to put in your team page and literally say, hey guys, I would say A, who wants to earn $500 this month? B, who's hitting Success Club? Who's helping people this month? Who is wanting to get back to rank or move in rank this month? And by asking those questions, you're going to start to get conversation, but most importantly, you'll know who to work with that month. Okay. It literally is, 80% of your time should be spent with your top 20% of your team, right? You have to figure out who those people are. And I would just remind yourself, this is hard work, but it's not hard. This is not hard, okay? But it is hard work, and just that transparency of it. Go to those power hours, during your team calls if you're just not getting much engagement. Hey, we're going to make this more action-oriented. Like, think action-oriented. But if you're really trying to figure out, like, how do I implement this? Like, those would be a couple other suggestions. But what are your thoughts? Like, what are you going to do to really fuel the fire? Like, okay, I'm going to take this vision, this clarity, this accountability to my team. What are you going to do? Anybody? Because obviously the last call was very action oriented and you took it to your teams. I don't want you to get off here and be like, oh, that was so fluffy and nice. Oh, that cute little bunny that I just had at 10 a.m. All right, 9 a.m. Mountain Pacific. Like, literally, what are you doing? Yes, Jessica.
April 12th is our date for qualification for Summit. Then I was thinking about just starting. I haven't done a push to diamond group in probably 2 or 3 years. And that's how even one of our elite coaches in the downline, she says when we ran that, and she was a part of it, that's what sparked her business. I'm blowing it out of the water. It's Wendy Spencer. So just getting back to that, starting one on March the 12th, that's kind of a 30-day for qualification. And then if they want to earn $500, basically what I'm going to offer them is once they hit diamond, they get $100 from me. They hold it for 6 weeks. I'll offer them the extra $400. So they automatically earn extra $500 from me just by, because I'm going for 4-star at Summit. I am not going back to Summit, not quality, moving up in rank this year. So if I got to pay out some money, then I will pay out.
For sure. This may be too quick to say it, but have you thought of maybe starting that a week earlier just so you can get 6 weeks for them to?
I was thinking that, but that's already this Monday. So if I can get motivated in the next couple of days.
Ooh, you know what you could do? You could actually do it the week, like the new week, so the 8th. So a week from tomorrow, because that's a new business week. That might be wise, and that was what that last group was doing it on a Thursday. So then you can constantly see the recognition piece lines up, and you're not starting on a Monday.
Yeah, and then have them do business activity trackers from Thursday to that
Wednesday. Yeah. That'd be just a suggestion, and it will give you a little bit more time.
Okay.
Yeah. No, cool. I love that. Okay, Jessica, you were going to go.
I was actually going to say something very pretty much the same thing. I've actually never done a Push to Diamond group. Like I've never hosted one. I've only participated in them. So I love leading with in my group, because I have a lot of new coaches that are just now getting interested in the business. And so leading with that, who wants to make an extra $500 or who wants to make $500 next month, and leading with that, and then showing them. I think that there's so much to be said about, like, you're only a new coach once in your life. And there's like an innocence there that makes it easier sometimes to achieve diamond before we get all stuck in our head and messed up. So, so that could go hand in hand, I think, is getting them on board with coaching and then switching them over to, okay, let's push the diamond right away. And just these are the behaviors that'll get you there.
For sure. I love it. And the fact that you've never done one, just a reminder, and we all need to hold Jessica accountable. She doesn't want to go back to nursing. Reminder, she's a nurse in a jail. Like she doesn't.
I don't want to go back to prison. Like I have really good incentive to really do good with coaching.
So you all have to push her. So maybe that's it. Do a diamond group.
This is my accountability group to stay clean on the right track and not have to go back behind bars. So
literally.
Clean and not going back to jail.
Oh my gosh, it's so true though. Okay, yes, I think you should try it and see what happens, but I would give yourself some grace, and I would say, if you have anybody to pair up to do it with, and this actually answers Deanna's. Yes, Deanna, I feel like when you go back to the mothership, or I feel like if you get, your strong leaders involved and do it together, there's something great in numbers. For example, you have a strong upline of, Micah Folsom. And then in that you have Jalen Lovell and you have Melissa Brewer. Okay. Like strong leaders. And then what they all decided, like, you know what, we're tired of doing these things alone. We're going to just kind of join forces and do it together. Love that. Just like the group I was telling you about, none of them are on the same team, but they all paired up together. Like there's strength in numbers. And also you don't have to be the one constantly doing it every single day. So I'd highly suggest that, Deanna. Yes. And then I would just say, you know what? I would just literally say, like, I would pave the way towards it. I would show the vision of it. But I would just say, okay, to really engage in it, like that $500, like, let's consistently do this. Like, we're going to make it happen. We have strong goals, before Summit. Like, I really feel like if you get the emphasis behind it, it's going to happen because you're talking about it. So I love that. Okay, I have 1 little minute of story time, and then I'm going to let y'all go. Sound good? This is a good one. And my goal, I have to finish the book today because it's the 28th, and I only gave myself 30 days to read this. So I have quite a few pages to go, but I loved this. I actually only have like 30, so it's not bad. But, okay. Ooh, where did it go? Okay, so love and accountability. This is page 140 in it. And it says, I've worked with and studied leaders for years, and I believe that the positive leaders who are able to create amazing teams and results provide both a lot of love and a lot of accountability. Love and accountability. This is how great teams, organizations, relationships, and results are created. If I had to pick the most important section of the book, it'd be right here. You have to love your people, but you have to make sure you hold your team accountable to the plan, the process, the principles, and the values of the culture. it's all about a relentless implementation of the plan. It's about having clear performance goals and making sure everyone knows the goals and knows the data, status, and progress towards these goals. It's making sure everyone knows the plan and what needs special attention. If you are having a problem, that's okay, but don't keep it a secret. Let's figure it out together and find a solution. If you are failing in some way, you won't be ostracized, but rather you will find the support you need to succeed. If you don't hold people accountable to it, your team won't live and breathe it. But when you love people and hold them accountable, it's amazing how fast things can move in the right direction. Ah, that's so good. Okay, love and accountability. So I really feel like this is the thing, especially, I mean, like I've said 8 billion times, you've all been successful. But with success, you have all held people accountable. You have all created expectations. If you, as you know from Z's training last week, if not, they flounder around and they don't know what to do. Like, you need to set that game plan, that vision, draw out their family tree like Jessica does. I love that. Like, oh my gosh, it's so dark right here. But literally, like, just remember that, like, and get the stinking book. Power one, this is where we read. Awesome. Let's do it together. We can all, yep. So that's exactly what happened, Deanna, in one of my other groups, is they just kind of like, okay, let's do this. Like, you know, they did it together. Like they just felt like that would be the best option. So I love, love, love that. Is that okay? So ladies and gent, I know he jumped off, so tell your husband goodbye, Deanna. But let me know what you need. Obviously, know that I'm here for you, but I think the biggest thing is take action now with this and really run towards the vision of working towards something by Summit. Does that sound good? Okay, we'll have a great topic next week. Thank you for your time. Have an amazing day, and I will talk to y'all soon. Sound good? Okay, thank you. Bye, ladies.